What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and in today's video we will be predicting Group D of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So grab a snack and a glass of your favorite beverage, sit back, relax, and enjoy. In Group D, there's France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. And what's so interesting about Group D is it's almost similar to Group C of the 2018 World Cup, where there was France, Denmark, Australia, and Peru. Wow. France are currently managed by 1998 World Cup winning captain Didier Deschamps. Two-time champions and current holders France are looking to follow up their win in 2018 with a third World Cup title. But first, they must avoid falling victim to the champions' curse that they themselves first succumbed to on Asian soil in 2002. And yes, I said Asian soil. Brazil were able to avoid the curse in 2006, but Italy, Spain, and Germany fell victim to the curse as the last three World Cup champs. Weird, right? I know, very, very weird. But could this star-studded French squad avoid a similar fate? Simple answer, their destiny is in their own hands. Key player for Le Bleu is Kylian Mbappe. Let's move on to Australia, who are currently managed by Graham Arnold. Once again, Australia did things the hard way by qualifying via the Interconfederation playoffs. They got the better of World Cup 2018 group mates Peru on penalties. How dramatic. Can the Socceroos cause some more drama in this group? Something they failed to do against France and Peru in 2018, but did pick up a draw against Denmark. Could Australia be that team that inflict that telling blow on the holders France? Something big could be brewing in Group D. We will just have to wait and see. Key player for Australia is Aaron Moy. Now let's move on to Denmark, who are currently managed by Kasper Hjulmand. Back for their sixth World Cup after qualifying with an almost perfect record, the Danish Dynamite have momentum from their fairy tale run to the semis of Euro 2020. Blessed with talent from back to front and not lacking inspiration from the likes of Christian Eriksen, Kasper Schmeichel, and Mikkel Damsgaard, the Danes went unbeaten in the 2018 edition only to go out on penalties to Croatia. Think dog horses? Think Denmark. We could see something very, very special from the Danes at the 2022 World Cup. Key player for Denmark is Christian Eriksen. And last but not least in the group, Tunisia, who is currently managed by Jalel Kadri. I must admit that I didn't predict Tunisia to qualify for the 2022 World Cup, but of course they did by defeating World Cup hopefuls Mali in the third round of African qualifiers. With a new coaching staff in place, the Eagles of Carthage would depend heavily on their experienced players in their quest to advance to the knockouts for the very first time. The France-Tunisia match is one that you don't want to miss. Underestimate Tunisia at your own peril. Key player for the Eagles is Wabi Kazri. So guys, now it's time to let you know my predictions. This is the most difficult part of the video. And it always, I'm like, oh man, I hope I get some of these right. But look, this group is a tricky group, right? It's a similar group to Group C of the 2018 edition, where France, Denmark, and Australia have been drawn into the same group with Tunisia replacing Peru. And it ended with France topping the group, Denmark coming in second, and Australia and Peru missing out. Is it going to be the same story this time around, or are we going to actually see some type of upset in the group? The holders get knocked out in the group stages. We're going to see Denmark miss out. Tunisia qualify for the round of 16 for the first time. The Aussies, who are usually very impressive at the World Cup, get through to the round of 16. What beholds us in this World Cup is left to be seen. But I could only predict, I could only assume what I think is going to actually happen in this group. But I've got my predictions and I'm going to share them with you. Make sure you share yours in the comment section down below. So coming in fourth in this group, guys, I'm going to have to go for Australia. And the reason why I'm going for Australia is I don't think they'll get wins against France and Denmark. They might get something against Tunisia, but that's not even guaranteed. I wasn't convinced with Australia during the qualifiers, and I think, they were in a strong position at first, and then their form fell away. And, they love to do things the hard way. They got through to the playoffs in Asia and got into the interconfederation playoff where I was actually surprised that they beat Peru. It happened on penalties, but I was like, wow, Peru, you could have been in this group again, or maybe not, but you could have qualified for the World Cup, but Australia persevered, which shows that this team is very gritty. They have a never ever say die attitude. They're not star-studded, but they do have a lot of experienced pros in their team and some new blood coming through. Guys like Garang Kuol, you have Awema Bill, experienced guys like Matt Ryan and Aaron Moy, Matthew Leckie, Jackson Irvine, and they will be dependent on the more experienced players to actually put their heads together and pull off some good results at the World Cup. But I just don't think they have enough in them, man. They need a bit more inspiration. Maybe someone will step up at the World Cup and actually say, hey, man, Australia are here to say what's up and not just passengers in the group. But I think the game between Australia and Tunisia would be crucial game. That's a second group match. And when you look at the opening games for both teams, Australia and Tunisia, they might actually lose those games against Denmark and France. So that game is key. A draw won't be a good result for any of these teams. One of them has to pick up a win. And I just don't see Australia doing well in this group. You know what I mean? And this is probably me underestimating Australia again, but I just don't see them doing well, and I'm gonna go for them to come in fourth. Coming in third in the group. This is a very tricky one because the team that I'm gonna predict to come in third would determine whether France gets knocked out in the first round or whether they break the champions curse and move on to the round of 16. What do I think? Do I think France are actually going to get knocked out in the group phase like the last three European world champs, Germany, Spain, and Italy? Well, look, before every World Cup, these teams look really good. You know what I'm saying? And we would have never guessed when Spain got knocked out in not Spain, but Italy got knocked out in 2010, then Spain in 2014. And it was shocking when Germany got dismissed in 2018. We couldn't believe it. Could we see something similar happen to France? It's really hard to think about. When you really like think, you're like, God damn, like Mbappe, Benzema, Giroud, Griezmann. You think midfield Chouameni. You think Kamavinga, you think, N'Golo Kante is injured, but you think Pogba, if he's there, you just think this squad is way too good to not qualify for the round of 16. And I don't think they will get knocked out in the group stage. So I'm going to go for Tunisia to come in third. I don't think Tunisia have enough quality to actually get the better of Denmark and France. Maybe they'll beat Australia, but I don't see them beating Denmark and France. But Tunisia, new management. They could be a very tricky team to play, very defensively sound. The problem would be scoring goals. They do not score a lot of goals, but they do have the likes of Yusuf Msakni, who's going to be a goal threat, and Wabi Kazri, ever present. And they do have the trio coming back from the 2018 World Cup of Slitty, Skiri, and Sassy. So they do have that experience in their team. And they will look to these guys to actually band together their talents to muster up something and get out of the group for the first time in their World Cup history. So they won't want to be passengers in the group again, but I just think they will be not enough quality, in my opinion, to get the better of Denmark and France. And the style of play, I think, isn't, suited to get to upend those teams. You see what I mean? I think even if they put up a roadblock, they park the bus, France, Denmark would find some way beyond that. But the derby, which is, a very crucial match between France and Tunisia, would be an interesting one. And who knows, maybe they could get a point from that game. But let's say they beat Australia, get a point from France. It might just not be enough to get through to the round of 16. Because let's say they lose to Denmark, right? And Denmark beat Australia, and France beat Australia and pick up a draw against Tunisia and against Denmark. Then France and Denmark go through, right? So, I just don't see France not making it to the round of 16 this time around. But look, coming in second, I do think it's going to be the current holders, France, because their record against Denmark has been poor, right? If they do get something against Australia and Tunisia, I don't think they will actually beat Denmark. And Denmark might actually go unbeaten in the group, and they won't lose to France, and it might be go down to goal difference. And I think, France would come in second in the group because something, look, I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong here, but I just can't see it. Or maybe I don't have the guts to predict a star-studded team like that to actually miss out on the round of 16. But we know something could happen before the World Cup. There could be a 2010 situation happening all over again, or just like 2002 when Senegal were in France's group, and Senegal and France has, history. The same with Tunisia. Maybe Tunisia could be the team to actually prevent France from qualifying for the round of 16. But no, man, look. With Kylian Mbappe playing, how he's playing top of his game, the likes of Griezmann, who does play well for the national team, Giroud, Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner. I just can't see it, man. I really just can't see it. I know Hugo Lloris could be a bit suspect, but their defense would have the likes of Upamecano and guys like Jules Koundé and, whoever they take. If they take Luca Hernandez and, Benjamin Pavard, the defense, I think, is solid enough. The midfield is solid enough for them to get through to the round of 16, man. You got to have them as one of the favorites to win the tournament again. But this time around, I don't think they could waltz to the group stage in second gear. They would have to get into fourth and fifth. They would have to work for their place this time around. So I'm going to go for France to come in second. And with that being said, Denmark, the Danish Dynamites, actually topped the group. They came in second in their group back in 2018, but they were also on a very long unbeaten run since in that World Cup. They were on an unbeaten run under Age Harada. They got knocked out on penalties to Croatia, so they didn't actually lose a game at the World Cup. But what's impressive about Denmark is their record against France. The last two games, I think they have beaten France, and at the World Cup, they picked up a draw. At the Euros, they were absolutely magnificent without Christian Eriksen. So you could, barring some results, some poor results, maybe after, this team is one to watch. This will be one of the dark horses at the 2022 World Cup, Denmark. I don't want to pump them up too much and say, hey, they're going to get to the semis and probably go into the finals. But don't write off Denmark whatsoever. If they could produce anything close to what they did at Euro 2020, we would be, on the edge of our seats, man, because it's just talent galore in that team. From back to front, Kasper Schmeichel, all the way up to the likes of, Mikkel Damsgaard and Co up top. Even the likes of Martin Braithwaite do produce for Denmark, and look, this team, I like this team. I really like this team. Striker Larsen running down the wings, Andreas Christensen, Simon Kjær, guys like Delaney in the midfield, Heibier in the midfield. The team is just Christian Eriksen himself. The team is just stacked up, man. You know what I mean? Kasper Dolberg could come in. You have guys like Yusuf Poulsen. There's a lot of inspiration in this team, and I think they'll do very, very well at the World Cup, coming in first in Group D. I know it's a tough call, but I just have a good feeling about this Danish team, man. And their manager, Kasper Hjulmand, has done a great job taking over from the previous regime, and the transition was really, really, really smooth. Don't get me wrong, man. Maybe Australia or Tunisia could upend France and Denmark, and we have a whole chaotic group, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So there you have it, guys. My prediction for Group D was a tough call. So let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure to go check out all the other videos that's part of this 8-part series where I'm predicting groups A to H. And guys, from your boy Dominic Rich, I wasn't in the car today. I'm off from work, so I'm, settled. I'm in the house, and look for the next one. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.